as the new aquaculture solution. We are a local, sustainable way to farm a healthy fish. And our NASDAQ symbol is NCRA. This is what we make. We make recirculating aquaculture systems, RAS. One of our systems can raise up to 20,000 pounds of tilapia or catfish and yield about $25,000 to $50,000 of gross revenue in the US, either processed or live. The RAS technology is very, very simple. Okay, it basically recycles 90% of the water, protect the ecosystem, and we can produce up to 80% of the production, given a limited area. So in a small piece of land, instead of using 1 acre, we only have to use 1/80th of the land to produce the same amount of fish. Why aquaculture is important? Because overfishing is the most serious problem that's threatening our ocean. Basically, 90% of the seafood it's being imported from overseas in the U.S. About 3 billion people worldwide depends on seafood as a protein source, and most importantly, that seafood is highly demanded, for globally when the population grows. By 2050, our population will be 9.5 billion, and the demand for seafood or food will be double. But even now, because of COVID, we have, this crisis, a food crisis, is a COVID. Okay. Yeah, benefit of RAS again, it's flexible, it's independent. Okay, it has a maximum production efficiency, increased biosecurity, and prevent disease outbreak. It's independent from water, independent from weather. It has a variable environmental conditions. So basically, I can have different tanks, having different species at different temperatures and using different AIoT. And it also reduces the wastewater and also reduces the need for traditional fish farm. So basically, the land for traditional fish farm also reduce the need for fish feed. It's very, very important that, the bigger the space, the more waste, the more fish feed that we waste. And that's something that we have to think about. Most of the fish farm in the U.S. are still in the pond, lagoons, or these big pond, big size ponds that's theoretically big. And a lot of these feeds are being wasted because it's just too big, that all the fish feed are being blown, all over the place, and the fish are not eating, everything. So one of the biggest waste of that is the fish feed, because your pond is too big. You cannot really control or see or manage how much feed they're eating, or if they're eating everything. So a lot of fish feed are wasted. Okay, our services, we have engineering design, we have procurement, we have construction. So basically, we design the farm, we design the equipment, we procure, and then we manufacture, and then we construct. So basically, from equipment to the land construction to the fish farm construction, we do it all by ourselves. And we have proven that because we built the biggest fish farm in China. And we set an industry standard, because right now there's no industry standard. Our systems are economical. We have a second market value and easy installation and removal. Think about used cars. Okay, our system can be moved, can be reused, like used car can be resold. So if I build a fish farm here, I think, well, yeah, you know what, maybe the weather is not good enough. I can move my equipment to another location and build another fish farm. So that's how good we are, how efficient we are right now. And right now, we are the only Taiwanese provider of total solution RAS, solar energy, sharing, and construction services. Okay? No company in Taiwan can do all three at the same time, but we can. We're going to do RAS, we can do solar, and we can do construction. Okay, now let's look at our tanks here, okay? Our tank can range from 15 meter, 20 meter, 8 meters. Okay, the one we're building in Alabama is going to be most likely to be a 15 to 20 meter, okay, which we're going to produce about 22,000 pounds of catfish a year. Okay, here is the biomass tank. Here is the settlement tank, and this is where the fish are swimming. Okay, so when the fish are swimming, they start eating. Their waste will be you know flow out to this settlement tank. And where the settlement tank is that all the waste will go down and settle at the bottom, and then the water will be pumped to this biomass tank. And the biomass tank basically carry all the good germs and flow back to the water here. So instead of having 6 pumps, we're using only 1 pump. And because we use the physics, the level of physics, water from high to low, and water pressure, we are able to use only 1 to 2 pumps instead of 6 pumps. And that's just how efficient we are. And in terms of the fish application, to the extent that if you have anything you can find, either a fry or a fingering, we can do anything you want. We can do seawater, we can do fish water, we can even do crabs, abalone, fattening, crab fattening, we can do shrimps, anything you can think of. As long as you have the fingering or the fry, we can do it. Okay. But the thing is, like, the reason we picked catfish and tilapia to start, because this is the easiest fish to raise and has the highest, I wouldn't say the value compared to salmon, but in terms of like the cost efficiency, these are the fish that low investment, high return. Basically, I can raise a pound of catfish fillet now sells for $8.99 at Walmart, and the salmon is about what, $9.50. Same for tilapia. Tilapia sells for like what, $7.99 at Walmart. Salmon is like what, $9.50. So, but the investment that you have to invest into equipment, into the fish feed, into everything for salmon will cost you hundreds of millions of dollars to investment, like Aqua Bounty. Okay, like Atlantic Sapphire. Okay, Aqua Bounty put a pause. They spent almost $200,000. They spent almost $300 million, and they went over budget. And guess what? Their construction is over budget. They cannot do it. Aqua Bounty, and then Atlantic Sapphire, they have a fish farm that's super, super nice. Okay, but guess what? They lost about $200 million in the last 3 years. Okay, so they picked the wrong species. You know what I mean? You want a species that doesn't die. It's easy to take care of, and that doesn't die, and it yields a high return. Basically, that's what it is. Okay, again, impact of COVID-19 is that the freight increased about 500%, the port delayed, lack of frozen storage of major ports, and increased import seafood prices. Basically, this tells us there's no more cheap fish. All the fish went up. Catfish and tilapia used to be like $1.99 from China or $1 from China. No, right now it's $8.99. Okay, or even maybe you can find something for $4.99, $5.99, but these are imported from China. For the U.S. grown catfish or tilapia, it's $8.99. Okay, so basically we are in a very, very good spot right now, or timing, where fish from overseas does not solve the demand in the U.S. Okay, there's executive orders from from the Trump era, from Biden, from Obama. All they want is bring aquaculture back to the U.S. But why is nobody doing that? Because it's too expensive. One of these farms will cost you a lot of money, and then it's just nobody want to do it because it's too expensive. You have an investment. Okay, so basically what we do is right now is like we are looking to build our first site in Alabama, where it's in location of Montgomery. Basically, that solves our issue of labor. Okay, most of the fish farms in the U.S. they're located in very, very rural areas. Okay, where is like a population of less than 100 people or less. Okay, so nobody want to go there, for working, for doing anything. We are only located about 5 minutes from the Starbucks. In a rural fish farm, in Montgomery. We're only about 2 hours away from Atlanta Airport. So that's why we are located in the city of Montgomery, our fish farm. The financials for Alabama, okay, basically we can sell it for wholesale for $2 per pound. And our cost is about 80 cents. Okay. So it takes us 80 cents of working capital, including labor, electricity, water, fish feed, everything. It costs us 80 cents. Okay. But and we can sell it easily for $2 directly to our processing plant. But if we were to fillet ourselves and then retail, we can sell it for $5 to $9 a pound. And my cost is only 80 cents. But even fillet, having a processing plant, it doesn't cost that much. Okay, and here's the SIM, right? A $9 a pound, our revenue is going to be 63 million. A $2 a pound, our revenue is going to be 20 million. Okay, so basically, even a 20 million, $2 a pound, my cost is only about what, $8 million. So I'm making $12 million a year once my fish farm start operation. And that's just how efficient we are. Yeah, same thing here. This is a breakdown of the investments. Yep. Same here. Net profit 12.5 per pound. Yep. So we have all the findings. So basically, we can make our gross margin is almost like 100%. And people just found that to be amazing. And it is amazing because the fish prices went up 400% in the last 2 to 3 years. I'm just going to skip that. And then our future roadmap is that California, or UK, Dorset, Brazil, stuff. We receive a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, but we just don't have enough manpower to serve the world. You know what I mean? It's like UK was, oh yeah, I met with the UK finance minister. So yeah, we want you to be in UK, but I told him, I don't have the money to build in UK. He said, "What can you listed on the London Exchange?" I said, "No, I don't want to be listed on the London Exchange." So yeah, it's very, very interesting. It's very, very happy that all the countries are addressing the issue. Trying to address the issue of food crisis, especially after the COVID, after the Ukraine crisis, and when everything stops, when there's no more fish or no more food. Now all the countries, I said, you know what? Maybe I need a fish farm, and that's what UK is doing right now. UK only have 12 fish farms, but none of them really produce fish or tilapia or catfish. Most of them are either salmon, trout, oysters, mussels. That's it. So whatever fish farm they have in UK does not feed the Britain. So the Britain ministers are worried if anything breaks out, their fishing boat cannot go out, then UK has no more seafood. And that's just how serious some of these countries are.
Yeah, no worries. I definitely appreciate these insights. I want to pass a question out to the viewers. We'd love to know what you think in that comment section below, and definitely consider subscribing, because as news comes down the wire, we're going to continue to update you here. But on that, as always, we look forward to catching you in the next one.